Yes, Black Americans are the blueprint of Black people, honey. Get it together.
And this is why when people say you look American, it could never be a compliment. Because this girl just said, Black Americans are the blueprint of Black people. How? When you literally get BBLs to look like African women, it doesn't make any sense. Number two, y'all didn't popularize Tyler, actually. She's very authentic. Every interview she goes to, her accent is potent. And people ask her, where is this girl from? South Africa. She popularized herself. You just mad that she's famous. Number three, Tyler's challenge water was popular in South Africa and y'all decided to participate in a South African trend and now you mad because it went viral? The same way you're trying to do that sana ni na dance with the shoulder and you're not even doing it properly because it was a family thing and you decided to participate. You're like doing this thing of taking African ideas, bedazzling them and putting a twist and then wanting to name them American so that you can say you're the blueprint. You are not the blueprint. A lot of your ideas already exist in Africa. You'll just switch it up and call it culture.
Look, I'm about to not mind my business, but I don't care. I am so enjoying this beef. I don't know what happened. I don't know why y'all Americans went to do that to yourselves. But now the war between Africans and Americans right now, what is going on? Why did you guys go do that to yourselves? Why did you guys... Yo, these Africans are coming for y'all. Obviously, I'm not American. I'm Canadian, but yo, y'all started something that I don't think you were ready for. And there was no purpose to start that. There was no purpose. Excuse me, I just ate. Your girl is digesting. I wish it was African food, no lie. Okay. But yo, the Africans are not holding back in the comments to die for. Like, to die for. My best part is, funny enough, Americans are no longer African Americans. Like, y'all are no longer African Americans. What happened to the African in your American? What happened to that? I never understood the African American thing that Americans like to call themselves when they're literally Black American. But whatever, I'm not gonna get into it. Like I said, I'm not African. But you know what? I am enjoying this beef right there. Y'all went and poked the wrong bear. Y'all went and poked the wrong bear, and I'm here for all that. See, I'm here for all of it. Y'all, when you guys see a video, an African reply to an American, or stitching something not very smart that an American says, go in the comments. Go live your best life in the comments. You will not regret it. Y'all went to poke the wrong bear. Wap kon George. Wap kon George. Wap cherche problem. Wap kon George. Y'all should have just leave them people alone. Leave their food alone. Leave their braiders alone. Just leave them alone. Y'all enjoyed the cheap price for the braids, no? Now y'all want to... Americans, only you would do something like that. I'm here for all of it.
I don't think I'm African American. I'm a Black American. There has to be a difference between that man with that accent.
Talk then.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have totally different ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like, if and I had to put it to my roommate like this, because my roommate was born in like Nigeria or something like that. So I had to tell him straight up, you think you Black, but if they started giving Black people reparations, do you think you would get a check? We had a different experience from our ancestors all the way to now. That's why you're not Black and I'm not African, because you wouldn't get a reparations check, but I would.
Y'all ever wonder why Africans don't really like us? Well, I was married to an African. I remember we was having a conversation and I said to him, you know, it just really seemed like y'all don't really like us. I was showing him a video. I said, this is what they show us of y'all, that y'all hungry, your ribs is hanging out. So I showed him the video of one of those commercials they would show us like 3 a.m. Could you spare $1? He said, that is not us. He looked at that video, he laughed, and he said, who is that? He said, that is not us. He said, that's not them in Africa. That was never them starving. I said, what? So then I said, well, what is they showing y'all of us? He said the movies that they see of us is that we are, you know, our men sell drugs, you know, which they do. But they sell drugs and they just murder anything walking. They murder everybody. And so I said, well, what they show y'all about us? He said, they show them that we're prostitutes and we get high. And I was like, what? And so then he said when he went to get his papers from immigration or whoever he get the papers from to come here, he said they told him, don't marry a black woman. You be better off marrying a white woman. So when we're looking at this separateness that we have amongst each other, it was inbred in us. It was inbred to them to fear us. So they fear us and don't like us. We got to wake up, y'all, and come back together and unite in unity. There was things that was done and said to keep us apart. Ashe.
What is going on with Africans between African Americans?
None of your business. In other words, black folk business is black folk business. To make it simpler, don't worry about the drama happening in a certain community that you're not a part of. We as black people, especially Afro-Americans, have been addressing the diaspora wars happening within our community, and that's for us to mitigate. And even if you're just genuinely curious, you asking that question is lighting a fire that we're already trying to extinguish. There are white tea people in the United Kingdom who don't care for white tea people in the United States. Inquire about that. There are people in France that don't like the way people in Canada speak French. Inquire about that. Across the world in different diasporas, there are many differences that groups have that stem from misunderstandings, but that's for those groups to figure out. And contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of Africans that don't have a problem with African Americans and vice versa, so don't generalize. And that's coming from an African American who's actually been to Africa, hence the shirt. So if it's not your community, don't worry about it.
So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm trusting that you're doing well today and everything is good. You're of good health. And of course, you're keeping yourself safe from where you are watching me from. Thank you so much for coming across my channel. I want to welcome you to this platform where we navigate and talk about things that obviously affect the existence of humans. And yeah, so today brace yourself because we are going to have a little bit of a lengthy discussion. So this video is going to be about the fight, because now when I was online, I saw a couple of videos that are saying that there is a tension, there is rift between Africans and the Black Americans. And this conversation is really getting hot because I feel like we are the same people, because if you look at our skins to start with, okay, maybe people who are in America because of weather and all that, or rather those people who are in Europe, their skin could be like light, a little bit of fair than maybe the people from Africa. But now this is what is happening. There is a tension. There is a creator here on this platform who said that the Black Americans are the blueprint of Africans, and that made people were agitated with that. Everyone was going kumbaya, and I'm just like, I'm laughing because I don't really see what is there to fight for or what is there that people should really argue about. But I'm going to blame the system. I'm going to blame the mainstream media and everything that we watched while we were growing up. Okay, now, in most cases, you will see that in Africa, it has happened before. Young ladies getting married to old white people, and they go to abroad in search for greener pastures. So that is what we've been sold to. Okay, let us go back to people who are like professional. I'm talking about the traditional professions like being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an engineer, something like that. That is something that the media has never shown, that even Black people are very successful into those areas, or rather those industries. All right. So they taught us, or rather they shown us, that for you to be a successful Black person, you ought to have ventured into sports, athletes, music, rap music, something like that. And recently, if you are familiar with my channel, I did an episode where I was pointing that without all those rapping, athletes, things like those, Black people have done really, really some amazing job. Some of them are very big into business. Some of them are very big into technology. Some of them are done an amazing job into the medical field. But that is not what the media has shown us. The media showed us, rather, the people who are in Africa, rather, that is not the case. They told us that for you to be able to be a successful person, you need to compete. You need to maybe be a marathon runner. You need to be like a very good rapper. You need to be like a very good actress and things like those. So that might have been some of the contribution that led to this rage, or rather this hate between the Black people in Africa and the Black Americans. Yeah. And also I would say just, like privileges, because if you've seen again the videos that I've done previously, I did how Black Americans, or other Blacks in other parts of the world apart from Africa, were reacting about even when Speed visited Africa. Like, he came and he showed the world what Africa is made of, what Africa as a whole is made of, and everybody was just stunned. Everybody was like, oh my God, this is not what we see in the media. This is not what we've been sold to, So everyone was just crying, literally. Literally, people were crying because they've seen worst. Some people, when they come to Africa, of course, like every place on this earth, there's a ghetto part, So when these people come to Africa, they show the most ghetto part. They don't show you that this country is developed and it have like some really nice things that you could do, Even people were shocked, like the life in Africa is really good. Like, you can spend little, and at the end of the day, people own homes, people are business people, and you cannot sleep with an angry stomach when you're in Africa, And I'm like still asking myself, so this is not, or rather it should not be a fight between Africans and Black people in the USA, in Europe, in Asia, and all that. It should be like coming together and people noticing that this is what you are sold for. This is what people sold. The mainstream sold for you this idea, so that you have that perspective, like being a Black person, being an Africa is bad. And it's not really bad, Also, like, if you've noticed, when we were watching movies, I will say that when I was young and we were watching movies, you would watch a movie and a Black person would not even survive between the first 20 minutes of that movie. They get assassinated, and the hero becomes a white person, So my message to this video is, I don't feel like it's necessary for us to have this fight, rather than coming together and knowing where your roots are and just explore the world, So ladies and gentlemen, please comment below and let me know what you think about this particular topic. Yes, I know it's very controversial. Everyone has their own opinion, which it is highly welcomed, and so that we can ease the tension that is there, So just in case you're new here, again, my name is Yvonne, and you are welcome to being part of my online family. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. My returning subscribers, thank you very, very much. I appreciate. And guys, the only way you can help me, or rather you can support me, is by subscribing to this channel and share with any other person who might be interested in such content. Until next time.